Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome to Learn English in Real Life. Here, we learn English without grammar, textbooks, or rules, just by listening and practicing. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. Today, we are going to talk about a very important person in history, Robert Oppenheimer. He was a scientist, a teacher, and the man who helped create the first atomic bomb. His story is full of science, war, difficult decisions, and deep emotions. This is a story about power, responsibility, and what happens when science and war come together. So get ready, listen carefully, and enjoy the story of Robert Oppenheimer. Robert Oppenheimer was born in 1904 in New York City. He came from a wealthy family. His father was a successful businessman who had come to the United States from Germany. His mother was an artist. Robert grew up in a home full of books, art, and culture. From a young age, he was interested in science, especially chemistry and physics. He was very smart, but also shy and serious. He loved learning and spent most of his time reading or doing experiments. When he was a teenager, Robert went to Harvard University. There, he studied many subjects, including literature, languages, and physics. He finished his degree in just 3 years. After that, he went to Europe to study more advanced physics. He spent time in England and then in Germany, where he worked with some of the most famous physicists of the time. He learned about quantum mechanics, a new and complex branch of physics that was just starting to develop. Oppenheimer became one of the first Americans to understand and teach this subject. In the 1930s, he returned to the United States and began teaching physics at the University of California, Berkeley, and at the California Institute of Technology. He quickly gained a reputation as a brilliant teacher and thinker. His students respected him deeply, and he helped train many young scientists who would later work with him. At the same time, Oppenheimer was becoming more interested in politics. He was concerned about the rise of fascism in Europe and supported efforts to fight it. Some of his friends and family were involved with left-wing political groups, and this would later cause trouble for him. In 1939, a group of scientists discovered something that changed the world. They found that when the atom was split, it released a huge amount of energy. This process was called nuclear fission. Scientists realized that if this reaction could be controlled, it might be possible to create a bomb more powerful than anything ever seen. This discovery came just as World War II was beginning. The United States was not yet in the war, but many scientists were afraid that Nazi Germany might try to build such a bomb first. A group of scientists, many of whom had fled Europe to escape the Nazis, wrote a letter to President Franklin Roosevelt. They warned him about the possibility of a German atomic bomb and asked the U.S. government to start its own research. This led to the beginning of what became known as the Manhattan Project, a secret program to develop an atomic bomb. In 1942, the U.S. Army took over the project and chose Robert Oppenheimer to be its scientific director. This was a surprising choice. Oppenheimer had never led such a large project before, but the Army believed he was the right person. He understood the science, and he had the energy, vision, and leadership skills needed for the job. Oppenheimer helped choose a secret location for the main laboratory, a remote area in New Mexico called Los Alamos. There, under his direction, scientists, engineers, and workers came together from all over the country. They lived in a small, isolated community and worked day and night to build the bomb. The Manhattan Project was one of the largest and most secret operations in history. At its peak, more than 130,000 people were involved, though only a small number knew the true goal. Oppenheimer worked closely with many famous scientists, including Enrico Fermi, Niels Bohr, and Richard Feynman. They faced many technical challenges, but they made progress quickly. Oppenheimer was deeply involved in every step. He helped solve problems, inspired his team, and kept everyone focused. On July 16, 1945, the first atomic bomb was tested in the desert of New Mexico. The test was called Trinity. When the bomb exploded, it produced a flash of light brighter than the sun and a huge mushroom cloud that rose into the sky. The scientists and military officers watching were amazed and shocked. The power of the explosion was greater than they had imagined. Oppenheimer later said that, in that moment, he remembered a line from a Hindu scripture. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." This quote became famous and showed the deep emotional impact the test had on him. Just a few weeks later, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. More than 100,000 people were killed, most of them civilians. Japan surrendered shortly afterward, and World War II came to an end. Many in the U.S. government believed that the bomb had saved lives by forcing Japan to give up quickly. But the use of the bomb also raised serious moral questions. Oppenheimer was praised as a hero and invited to the White House. President Truman called him in for a meeting, but Oppenheimer left the meeting feeling uneasy. When Truman asked how he felt, Oppenheimer said, "I feel I have blood on my hands." Truman was offended and later said he never wanted to see Oppenheimer again. After the war, Oppenheimer hoped that the world would come together to control nuclear weapons. He supported international cooperation and wanted scientists to help guide peaceful policies. But the political situation was changing. The Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union was beginning. Fear and suspicion were growing. The U.S. government wanted to build more powerful bombs, including a hydrogen bomb, which would be far more destructive than the atomic bomb. Oppenheimer disagreed with this plan. He thought building such weapons was dangerous and unnecessary. He spoke out against the hydrogen bomb and supported arms control. This made him enemies in the government and military. At the same time, his earlier connections to people with communist ties came back to haunt him. In 1954, he was called before a hearing by the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. He was accused of being a security risk and of not being loyal to the United States. Although there was no clear proof of disloyalty, the commission decided to take away his security clearance. This meant he could no longer work with the government on nuclear policy. The hearing was public and humiliating. Many people who had once supported Oppenheimer now turned against him. Others defended him and believed he was treated unfairly. The case became a symbol of the fear and political tension of the Cold War era. After losing his position, Oppenheimer returned to teaching and writing. He gave lectures, received honors from universities, and continued to think deeply about science and society. But he was never again involved in major government work. In the last years of his life, Oppenheimer became more reflective. He spoke about the responsibility of scientists in the modern world. He believed that science could bring great good, but also great harm, depending on how it was used. He often said that knowledge alone was not enough. Wisdom, morality, and human values were also needed. He remained a complex and thoughtful figure until his death in 1967 from throat cancer. Many years later, in 2022, the U.S. government officially recognized that Oppenheimer had been treated unfairly. His security clearance was posthumously restored, and government leaders praised his contributions and honesty. Today, Robert Oppenheimer is remembered as one of the most important and controversial scientists of the 20th century. His life story shows the power of science, but also the dangers that come when science is used without careful thought. Oppenheimer was a man of brilliant intellect and deep emotion. He helped create a weapon that ended a war, but started a new era of fear. He believed in using knowledge to improve the world, but saw how it could be used for destruction. His story is not just about physics or war. It is about the human condition. It is about choices, consequences, and the burden of knowledge. For language learners, and for anyone curious about history, his life offers powerful lessons about science, ethics, and the importance of asking difficult questions. And that's it for today's episode. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Remember, the best way to improve your English is to keep listening, keep learning, and stay curious. See you next time on Learn English in Real Life. Goodbye.